Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo in May 2020. What's going on, Leo? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Okay, more than a third of the way through 2020. How you feeling, Leo? How's tricks? How's life, huh? Man, May 2020. Hopefully where you are, I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. Still hopefully the last days of this quarantine that many of us are still living under. Social restrictions or social distancing still in play where I am a little bit, but I know that many places are seeing those restrictions and quarantine lifting. So if you're out and about, please be safe. Follow general guidelines, to keep you and your family and your loved ones safe in this still very serious pandemic, okay? Other than that, Leo, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing amazing. If you're able to get out and enjoy the nicer weather, the warmer weather, do so. Enjoy yourself. I know many people, not just Leos, are, after 2 months of being locked away in the house for extended periods of time. It can be quite an ordeal for many people. So if you're able to get out and enjoy yourself, please do so safely. And I'm always wishing you guys the best, okay? All right, Leo, here we are, back to our old format. Shook some things up for the mid-Aprils. I'll do that again in May. But I just, I'm a fixed sign too. I'm a Leo too, so change can happen, but sometimes it happens slowly. But let's just go ahead and get into it. I've shuffled off camera, Leo. That's your main spread there. I'm gonna shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is already in the description box if you want to jump ahead. You will also find the information that you need if you want to get a personal reading with me down in the description box. If you have a question before you actually place an order, just go ahead and email me at the same address and I will answer you as soon as possible. And of course, if you saw it there in the opening, and if you were here last month, you already know this, but for those who are newcomers or for those who are dragging their feet, I am on Instagram. Hey. I try to post things there just about every other day. I'm thinking of maybe doing some pick-a-card stuff over there. So if you want to follow me there, you'll see the little title card right down here. So if you want to avail yourself to that and check me out over there, it is Empathic Fire Tarot. I don't know why I said Empathic Fire. Empathic Fire Tarot over on Instagram. So if you want to check me out over there, give me a follow. Feel free to do so. If not, that's totally cool too, because, no pressure is the name of my game. Now, let's get into it. I blanked for a second. I was like ready to read the reading, and then I looked over here and I was like, that's blank. Something goes there. And something does go there. Your outcome and your overall energy. I will shuffle for those on camera now. Okay, so let's get into it. Leo's outcome for May 2020. Please show me. Leo's outcome for May 2020. Please show me. Please show me or stop me. How about that? Show me or stop me, please. Leo's outcome in May 2020. Leo, am I going to have to pick for you? I did it for somebody else. Was it Gemini or something? I did it for one of the signs because it was not flowing. And for some reason, the outcome is not flowing for you. So the fact that I'm jabbering about it means something. Outcome is hard to come by. There it is. Outcome is unknown. Something like that. And when it comes, maybe it's disappointing. Who knows? But there's something about the holdup. That's what this feels like. Something about the holdup of the whole thing. Something like that. But let's find out if that's correct in the totality of your reading. Let's go ahead and flip what came face down for you. My God. What? Oh, man. Come on. Now, some of you are like, what's the big deal? Leo, you have 6 cards on this board in your main spread. 8 total. Out of your main spread, you have 5 of 6 that are major arcanas. And out of your total 8 cards, you have 6 that are major arcanas. That's a lot of influence. I'm just going to say it just immediately. That is This is going to be a heavy hitter. I can already feel it. Okay, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Leo. Please show me where Leo is in May 2020. Please show me Leo in May 2020. Please show me. Please show me clearly where is Leo in May 2020. Okay. It's between two places. Maybe that means something to you, but a little bit more primarily it was here. So Leo, let's get into it. Coming into May 2020, you come in with the energy of the World card. Secondary major arcana for Capricorn. Some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn. Also associated with the fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Could be dealing with any of those signs as well, or none at all. It is a general. But the World card, aside from being this very strange human-like figure that's seemingly butt naked in a tree, this visual depiction of the World card, I'd have to look in the book for this deck and kind of understand what they mean by this artwork. But in a traditional sense, the World card indicates endings or chapter endings or lessons learned and wrapping things up, or coming to the final stages of something. This is the final card in the tarot, period, especially the major arcanas, period, right? So I think that something is wrapping up for you, or something is wrapping up in your situation, and lessons are being learned. It's oh, that could apply. It is May, but this could stretch out a little further into June or July, or or it could be time is very fluid, but I'm getting like literal like endings to like school years. So some of you, maybe you are in school, or your children are in school, or if you have children, some of you don't. But there is this feeling of school, the lesson, the actual like grades are coming in for you, for someone else. And this is bittersweet, it feels like, because especially if it's like literally dealing with going to school. For those who are in college or some type of vocational program, or you're getting certification in something, it's kind of like, well, the past 2 months of my life, I haven't actually gone to classes. It's been done remotely, and I've been doing, all these like discussion boards with my classmates, and it just hasn't been the same experience. Now, in the news, I know a lot of students who are enrolled in school now, they're looking for tuition refunds and all this other kind of stuff, because it's been an unfair experience of, I'm paying tuition to go to a brick and mortar university or college, but I haven't been allowed to do that, and it's no fault of mine, so why should I pay full top dollar for that? Now, I'm not sensing so far this is about money, but that's like the bittersweet part of it. It's like you're still going to graduate, you're still going to get your grades, you're still going to get your degree or whatever it is, but the experience has been marred, the experience has been altered in some type of way. And that could, again, even apply to your children if you have some. If they're, a high school senior and they haven't gone to their prom, or they didn't get to go on their, where I am, when I was in school, I don't know that they would do this still. There were like senior class trips, like going to like a huge, like a big class field trip to like an amusement park or something like that, so you can just like have a day of fun with your friends, whatever the tradition is where your kids go to school. And if you have a high schooler who missed that opportunity, you're kind of looking at them and they're like, yeah, I'm happy to graduate, but I miss my friends, and I miss being social, and I miss having all these milestones that are associated with the high school experience. Does that make sense? So yes, thank you. We got there. What the bittersweet thing is, there's something that you missed out on, or that you're missing out on now, and you can't get it back, or it just feels like other people will have had this experience, but I won't have this experience, and so that's disappointing. Life goes on, you graduate, you will continue to progress, because the World card in tarot, again, it does signal endings and lessons learned and things being wrapped up, but it doesn't end the story of the tarot. For those who are unfamiliar, tarot is not, a linear story per se, or it's not a story that doesn't repeat itself. It comes in cycles. So this World card is just an experience in this moment. Something ends, something comes to a what is the word? Halt. Thank you. I was like, what is the word that they're taking away from my mouth? So something comes to a halt, or it's just like wrapped up in a way that isn't pleasant, but you still progress. You know, life goes on. You know, there's no sense in like dwelling on it, something like that, which, you know, is hard for a person to do, or hard for a person not to do, if they put a lot of importance on the thing that they're missing out on. You know, graduation ceremonies, that's another thing. Beyond prom or beyond any type of celebration with your friends, just getting into your cap and gown, walking across the stage, being handed your diploma, being handed your degree, like that whole thing is like pretty cathartic for a lot of people. And, you know, your friends and your family come and they celebrate you. But if you're missing that experience, it's kind of like, did I even go through all of that? Were the 4 years that I spent in these school halls even real, or did it really happen if I didn't have like that little moment at the end to make it real? Does that make sense? So thank you. More to anything, because that's a very specific example, and not all of you are in school or you have people around you who are. But more important is the element of, because this didn't happen, did everything that happened before it, was it real? Was it significant? Was it actually as important or as impactful as I think it is, as I feel that it is, right? Now, the other aspect which I mentioned is that this is associated with Capricorn, and then by proxy associated with Saturn. And both of those things, the zodiac sign of Capricorn and the planet of Saturn, are traditionalist, very weighed and measured, and very much into obligations, responsibilities, and structure, rules, and lessons. Something here is a lesson for you, Leo. Whether we're talking about you being in school or some type of program, whether this is about the ending of a certain phase in your life, because I think that's what it's going to apply to for most Leos who watch this, you know, because again, not everybody's in school, or you know someone who is. There are lessons here about the ending of a certain phase, or behavior, thank you, where it, I don't know, what's that? I think, Leo, you might struggle with finding the lesson now. You might find it out later. Okay, thank you. The lesson now might be lost on you. And no offense, I'm not insulting anybody's intelligence or anything like that, but like that's what they're kind of compelling me to feel here. The lesson is not seen right now. It's not fully learned or understood right now, or appreciated. Let's say it that way. Appreciated, right? Yeah, they're saying like there's a bigger picture. There's like a bigger picture to this, and that makes sense. Thank you, because they're reminding me of what's down there. Right now, I'm looking up into the ceiling. It's very interesting. I'm like having a conversation with somebody over there. But what they're reminding me of, what's down on the board, excuse me, is a lot of major arcanas are down there, right? And that's the bigger picture. This is kind of, and I feel like for Leo, I've mentioned this a few times before, earlier this year, and maybe even in 2019 somewhat. There's a bigger orchestration going on for Leo collective that some are not able to appreciate, some are not able to embrace, some are not able to cope very well with, and others you're coping, but it's also like, where are the results? And I think that's what's going on here. This is showing that results are coming, or this is showing that there's an ending or the wrapping up of something that will bode results. But I don't know that we can see it just yet. We'll find out. So what else is going on down here? Let's see. What else happens for Leo? Okay. So there's like an issue. Wow, what is that? Come on. There's the issue with people. There's an issue with other energies. Like where you are, which I feel is very contained to the world card. Now that I go out into the other cards here on the board, I'm getting like inundated with other disturbances or turbulence is what it feels like a little bit. Turbulence, something like that. You're out here in other ways, but it's an intermingling of other people. It's an intermingling of other situations that whatever the world card is talking about, it's like it's tethered to it, but it's not. Oh God, what the fuck? Let's see. Let's try this again. Tell me more. What else happens for Leo? Please show me clearly. Okay, so more endings. Thank you. More endings are upon you, upon other people. Okay. Oh, okay. Crossed. Is that right? Crossed? Okay. Okay. This is a crossing. And I'm crossing my wrists. This is a cross. They keep saying a cross. Across. Okay, so fine. I guess we'll know more when we get there. So, the Death card above the world position, your first position. Death card, Major Arcana for Scorpio. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio, but you don't have to be. This is transformation. This is change. This is another ending. And it's very similar to the world energy, where once something ends, something else immediately begins, whether we perceive it that way or not, whether we believe in that or not. You know, that's kind of just the facts. There's change and transformation that is available or that is occurring, but it's rocky. It's not an easy transition, okay? The terrain in this card is very, stark. It's gray. It's cloudy, right? I get the sense like, okay, you see how that arm is extending from the top of the card towards the man in the center? It's like someone's being haunted. And I don't mean this like in a scary way. I don't mean this as in someone like, the Sixth Sense. I see dead people. I mean, that could be for some of you if you're into the esoteric space or the metaphysical space. Maybe that's something that you're dealing with, that you're being visited by people that have passed away. Maybe. But more to the point, someone is being haunted by their own transformation, by their own prospects when it comes to change and transformation. Thank you. Where, see. Okay, they're going to make me say this phrase. And again, it's not literal, but they're going to say death comes for us all. In the context of tarot, death, aka change, transformation, comes for us all. And this person is being haunted, being chased down, again, with that hand extending from off of the frame of the card. Whoever this is, you or the other person or other people in this situation, I don't know exactly who is here, being haunted by the change and transformation that is inevitable. It's inevitable. I mean, when it's not literal death, we have a little bit more choice, but it's kind of like futile, or it's kind of like counterproductive and counterintuitive to run away from death, to run away from change and transformation. Something I say on this channel very often, Leo, and I mean it as my personal, I wouldn't say a mantra, but it's definitely something I believe in very strongly. After how many years on this earth, I finally have learned this lesson. There's no sense in trying to avoid death as a concept, as it embodies ultimate change and transformation, right? Because you go through it naturally in your life. It's a natural phenomenon, both in mortality, both in a more metaphorical sense, right? Your body changes over time, does it not? Your body transforms over time, does it not? Whether you want it to or not. The body you have now isn't the one you had 5 years ago. It's not the one you had 20 years ago, correct? The hair color that you have, whether you choose it or not, is eventually going to change. You're going to get gray hairs or white hairs. You're going to have your hair fall out, whatever. There's a natural process of change and transformation that befalls us as living creatures on this earth that speak to transformation that you have no control over. It just happens. So it becomes, to me, kind of silly when we avoid change and transformation that we can quote unquote volunteer for or walk into, or as I say, embrace, right? So this ending or this chapter completing or this phase of your life completing, some Leos, you may be resistant to the ending of that phase in your life or that chapter in your life. Why? I mean, I don't want, not that I don't want, I'm not asking as in to provide you the answer. It's for you to determine. But there's something here about you or someone else or everybody involved or whoever's here. I don't really know who's here just yet. Avoiding death, but being haunted by it at the same time. That hand is coming for this person. And I'm not trying to say it to scare anybody, but it's just like, it always will find you. The impetus or the catalyst for change and transformation will always find you. And, you know, many of us know this. Not everybody, but I feel many of us know this. Whether you, I hate to make it sound like you have no choice. You always do. But it's sort of like a delay. Thank you. Finally, that's the fucking word I wanted. Or not even the word I wanted, just the concept that I wanted. There's a delay on embracing this aspect or this concept of death within tarot, right? So maybe going back to the example of school, you know you're graduating, or you know that this program is over, or you know your kids are about to, you know, move up to the next grade or go from high school to college, right? There's like the way in which it's happening is not a full embrace. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. It's very strange where I feel as though it could be accepted or it could be welcomed, but I feel it's not welcomed. There's something about this ending or this move from one point to another is not welcome. And then they're, again, reminding me of across. So I think this is like two different paths that have crossed or will be crossing or have crossed, but then they go in separate paths is what this feels like. Correct. They're letting me know that's correct. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So thank you. That finally makes sense now. Okay. So whoever's here and whoever's here, could be 2 people, could be 15 people. It doesn't really matter. But there are 2 sides to the situation. Both to certain extents are not happy with the ending, with the way things are falling out, with the way things are shaping up to be. However, what happens after a certain point, after the crossing point, there's a different pathway. That's what this, okay, thank you. So, going back to the world card side, let's say side. Well, no, I'm probably going to say person because it's a little bit easier. But I feel like it's more than one person. Like it could be it could be a friend group where some people are experiencing things and they're resistant, right? And they're kind of avoiding, but they're being haunted by the knowledge that they have to do things differently going forward. And then another side of a friend circle could be like, well, I'm not exactly happy with how this is ending, but here's what I'm going to do going forward. It's kind of like bittersweet versus avoidant. Yes, thank you. World card experience or side of this is bittersweet. This death side is resistant, reluctant, and avoidant. Okay? We got there. Or at least I got... Oh, that makes so much more sense. Thank you. All right. So, for the world card side, people, person, whatever, the Hierophant is next. Major Arcana for Taurus. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus, but you don't have to be. I feel like a high level of integrity, or I feel like a high level of fidelity, like being of high, oh God, this is going to sound like so ridiculously condescending, but being of high moral content, no, fiber, thank you is how we say it, high moral fiber. Like somebody who stands on their principles, somebody who stands by their integrity, Somebody who is very serious about what they believe in and what they don't believe in, okay? The Hierophant is prescriptive, is traditional in terms of beliefs when we normally interpret it in tarot. So one of the images that you'll see in traditional decks, you'll see a priest with monks in front of him, and he's kind of like giving us, not giving a sermon, but he's giving decree, right? He's reading from a holy book and he's giving out these lessons. Now, that's a lot of like high horse, grandstanding ways that we can view that. And maybe that plays like maybe you're dealing with someone, Leo, or you yourself are sitting on your high horse, looking down at everybody else going, look at these peasants, some whoever that person is, whoever is in this world trajectory, right? This world crossed path thing. Maybe they do have that energy about them. I do not, I'm not going to ignore that there's a possibility that someone could be really thinking, I know what's best and I know what's right, and I'm just not going to, there's something here about, okay, thank you, that's why I'm saying this. Again, with that traditional artwork and what I understand of world history, not a lot, just a bit, the sway of religious figures, and no shade to anybody now, no shade to anybody's personal faith, no shade at all, but those people who had power and still do, that are religious leaders, and it doesn't even have to be religion, it could be any type of leadership. There's almost like this untouchability to them, right? Again, no knock on anybody's religion, but how many of y'all are going to be able to get, close to the Pope to shake his hand in your lifetime if you're a devout Catholic? You see what I mean? There are millions of people across the world that follow the leadership of one person, and that person is kind of untouchable. That is like a very strong vibe that I'm getting here, an untouchable vibe. Whether someone intends it to be that way, or whether that's the way someone is perceived, or the way that someone is behaving in a situation, I don't know. But it's like that. And it's coming from a standpoint of, these are my principles, this is my integrity, these are the ways in which I'm choosing to conduct myself, and I don't want to I'm not going to falter from that. I'm not going to change my beliefs about that. Maybe this is a discrepancy or a disagreement over belief systems or belief, personal beliefs, maybe. But ultimately, I think it's about the character of one person or one side of an issue versus the other. So far, it feels like a difference in principles and difference in personalities, a difference in, again, your personal beliefs, yeah? Hierophant, aside from religion, also talks about governments, talks about school. We have mentioned school, so like higher education systems and institutions, talks about medicine, or the prospects of like large hospitals and things like that, and corporations and media, all these things. Basically any entity or leadership within an entity or representative of an entity that can persuade. That's a big element here. Can persuade. This energy, this person, these people, they act in a way or they present in a way that's very persuasive. I don't know that I would view it as manipulation. Some of you might. It's just, there's a strong value system that anchors whatever this is or whoever that is. Their value system, the foundation of it is solid. So solid. And that might be a revelation for this person, or that might be the phase in which they're moving into, right? So you could have someone back here, again with the analogy of school, who's graduating with a degree in political science and public relations or something like that. And they're going to go on and like found a, like a like a new news media source or something like that in the future, or they've already worked on it and they're about to launch, soon after their graduation, right? Something like that. It's just an example, but I feel as though whatever this energy is, I see it, okay. Whatever this energy is and how they create, it's going to be anchored in principles. It's going to be anchored in their personal integrity and their personal philosophies. And if not personal, what they share with a group. Because again, I don't know that this is even just down to 2 or even a handful of people. This, the world is global in its name, the world. It encompasses a lot of people. The Hierophant speaks to a lot of people with the examples I gave you. Religious figures, news media, corporations, governments. All of that encompasses a lot of people, right? And it's just like a multitude of things are going on with the Hierophant. It's very interesting. Now, it's going to be, or has been, or is currently in the moment, also backed up by this Empress energy, secondary major arcana for Taurus. So that's twice for Taurus, for those that are dealing with a Taurus. But secondary major for Taurus and Libra, so you could be dealing with either of those signs, or neither of them. Okay, neither of them, neither of them. Same difference. This is abundance. You know, regardless of what you see there, there's a female there. This could pertain to you know, a man or a group of men. It doesn't matter. But this is abundance. This is nurturing, or this is cultivation. It's warm, embracing. Okay, yes. Warm and embracing energy, nurturing energy, like, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it just to use, you know, a cliched idea. This is like the Midas touch. And I'm not saying it's going to be, you know, whoever's starting a business, or whoever has this great creative idea, or whoever wants to be the next, you know, leader of a mega church is going to become, you know, King Midas. No, I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is there's like this feeling from this side, person, group of people, whatever it is, that whatever they're creating will create abundance. Okay. Whatever they're creating will create abundance. Now, Leo, what is abundance to you, to me, to anybody else? It's very personal, right? My definition of abundance is probably different than yours, right? Some people, abundance is immediately tied to cash. Other people, it's tied to happiness. Other people, it's tied to social engagements or social relationships. Some people, it's tied to their ability to travel the world. Some people, it's tied to their ability to help others. Whatever you define, or whoever defines as abundance, this energy comes along and says it's like guaranteed. And this is a self-perception. This is a self-perception. This is a belief. This is an MO. This is how someone shows up in the world. Whatever I touch will turn to gold. Whatever I create will then create and sustain abundance for me and the people I know and love and care for, the people I want to be charitable towards, the people that I want to work with, the people that I want to make incredible music with, whatever the inspiration is, whatever the guidance is, whatever the goal is, this person or people or whoever this is, they just feel assured I will be successful and it will be abundant. I don't know who it is. I don't know where you are, Leo. You know which path you're on and which one you're not on. But, and it's backed up. This is backed up. They want me to tell you that. This is backed up. Oh, right. It's backed up because they're, you know, Leo, you're having it's like semi-spiritual, if I'm honest, how I'm interacting with this energy. It's backed up because you see that crescent moon in the back there, okay? So some people could be into the occult, could be into the esoteric knowledge and aspects of this world. I mean, I kind of felt that going on during this quarantine. I think a lot of people have been dealing and grappling with their shadow selves and, you know, all kinds of issues, personal and interpersonal, all kinds of trauma and drama in their family lives and their social circles and all that kind of stuff. And it's either made or broken many people, or it's made or broken many connections, right? Some, you know, people didn't take this time and they won't take this time to do this self-reflection. But this feels like an energy that is utilizing whatever comes their way. Because of the world. That's right. Thank you. Because of the world. Remember I said lessons, which someone may not be able to appreciate in the moment right now, but there's something about doing that self-reflective work, whether you did it or you didn't do it, whether you're doing it or you won't ever do it. it's a lot. This path is a lot because it's very large. Oh God, I've been talking forever about this. This path over here, both paths are very large. Let me tell you this. Energetically, what I'm feeling is like a group of people within a group of people. Like it's like a subset of people, right? So not all Leos are on this track. Not all Leos are showing up as either of these pathways, right? But within that collective of Leos, within that collective of people that Leos know, there's like this something large is happening. That's how I can describe it. And I'm trying to translate these very, very high level as in because they're major arcana. So they have bigger, wider scope than, say, a minor arcana. A minor arcana is pretty limited to our day-to-day experience, right? That's, if you didn't know that, you know, a slight, quick little, you know, nib, what do you call it? Nibble? Thank you. a nibble of tarot is that the major arcana speaks to larger, wider or broader aspects of our lives and the human experience, right? And the minor arcana speak to sort of our day-to-day, what happens within our own control. Does that make sense? So that's what I mean here. So one side is having a certain transformation or going through certain lessons that leads to some very strong belief, self-belief, self-perception of success and abundance while maintaining integrity and principles and operating from a very strong belief system. Doesn't have to be religious, doesn't even have to be, you know, political. It could be spiritual. Somebody could be spiritual AF out here, okay? That's what I want to amend there. It can be any type of, you know, foundational belief, okay? Now, going back to this death card energy, their cross path leads down here. Hangman in reverse. Secondary major for Pisces. Some of you could be dealing with a Pisces, but you don't have to be. That's what the card looks like in the upright. But it's in the reverse. So when we have a hangman in the reverse, we have someone who, or an energy or a group of people or whoever's on this other trajectory where, remember where they start. The death card. Hey there, death is haunting you. Hey there, change and transformation is, you know, at your back. Maybe you should get into that, but they don't. The hangman in reverse is reluctant to, resistant to any type of reflection. Because when the hangman is in the upright position, as you can see with the artwork, you ain't got much to do but sit there and reflect, or sit there and kind of ponder what's going on in your life, right? It is an energy of being caught up or hung up or made to pause, made to stop, made to reconsider and possibly open up to new perspectives. When it's in the reverse, we get a reluctance to that, we get a resistance to that, or we get it not going to plan, or it's not optimal. Let's say it that way. It's not optimal, okay? I get the sense, I get the sense that this person or this side of the story, Leo, knows that they could do this or should do this, but they do not. It's a conscious choice. It is a conscious choice to avoid, flat out, to avoid. It could be a control thing. It could be, because I mean, when you're in this position, I mean, this person, or this man on this card, you know, assumingly, he looks like he's got some muscles. He looks like he's got some core strength. He, aside from physical capability, we assume when we see someone strung up by their ankle from a branch, that they're kind of at the mercy of others who could come along and help him get down from that predicament, right? I mean, many of us have seen, you know, in action movies or, some kind of like MacGyver or Chuck Norris type situation where you're tied up and, presumably you would have to wait for someone to get you out of those binds. But, in reality, many of us would be like, well, I guess he could help himself. But in tarot, we like to suspend that disbelief a little bit and make it seem like this person has no choice, that they have no ability to help themselves. In reality, that's not the case. In reality, this person or these people, they have the ability to adhere or be comfortable in the suspended state of being in the hangman, but they're not. They don't like it, they don't want to, and it could be a matter of control. I don't want to, or I am reluctant to, or, in some cases I'm unsure of. This could be an issue of confidence in some cases. I'm unsure of what it would look like if I were to invite in or allow this change or transformation in my life, because again, that's where we start. For this other side of the story, they start with change and transformation in form of the death card, right? And to go through changes, to allow that aspect to befall them, or to make choices that set them up on the pathway of changing, they don't know the outcome. They don't know how they're going to be on the other side of it. When you're in the hanged man and it's in the upright position, you welcome it in. I don't know what's happening next. I don't know when I'm going to get cut down from this tree. I don't know when I'm going to be free to walk up on, to walk upright again on the earth's surface. But for now, I'm just going to chill and let all the blood rush to my head. That's an uncomfortable position. It's uncertain. Okay. Yes. Thank you. They're like, yes, that's it. It's an uncomfortable position. It's uncertain. This person or these people, whatever side, whoever this is, okay? Let's just say it that way. Whoever this is, they're very uncomfortable with uncertainty. And they are not able to, again with this word, adhere to the plan. They're forcing me to say this. Adhere to the plan. There's a cosmic plan because we've only talked about major arcanas this entire time. The last card is a minor, and we'll get to it in a moment. But all of this has been major. There is a divine plan here that someone is like, okay, I see it. I take it up, I go for it, or I adhere to it, right? Even if it's bittersweet, even if I end up in a place where maybe I end up having to walk my own path, it still feels, someone is more guided, let's say it that way. Someone else is guided as well, but they are uncertain. Because in a lot of ways, the hangman is its own spiritual card, or a card that speaks to spiritual leanings. Could be a meditative stance. I'm not saying that literally a part of meditation is to, dangle upside down from a tree branch. No, but it's again, just look at it. What is this guy doing? He's not doing anything. He's not going to file his taxes right now. He's not going to send a tweet. He's not going to do anything but be concentrated or focused on gaining a new perspective, gaining new insight, considering things in a way that he'd never considered them before. It's like mindfulness, quietness, a check-in, a personal check-in. What's going on with me? Well, now that I'm suspended from this tree, I might as well think about all the bad deeds in my life. I might as well think of all the things that I've chosen to do over the past couple of years. When you have this in the reverse, someone says, nah, I'd rather not. I don't want to do that reflection, and I'm not going to. And that's it. Or, thank you, they're reminding me, or this person doesn't know how. They don't recognize that that's what they've been asked to do, or what they're being guided to do by the universe, by the powers that be. Avoidant, trying to outrun that scary little hand, or that impending inevitable hand of death, change and transformation, as well as being unsure of, or just damn well not willing to do the reflective work. And I said that in context of what happened in the pandemic. A lot of people got into themselves. A lot of people, regardless of their zodiac sign, regardless of anything, a lot of people got into this self-reflective shit. Other people, they're just like, nah, man, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to do this. This is boring. This is, and we all have our different reasons. We all do. So that's what I see here. Final card in the main spread, Page of Cups. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. So this person might be a dreamer, or this side of the story could involve people or one person or however many people who are a little naive, or like I said, dreamers, like wanting to push past the difficulties, wanting to sweep that shit under the rug, not wanting big conflicts. The Page of Cups isn't a warrior, isn't anywhere close to being a fighter, right? Is a peacekeeper and wants good outcomes and wants to be a good person. Fair. Totally fair. Those are excellent qualities to have, But at the same time, considering everything else we talked about, that ain't really what you need to be doing, sis or bro. Okay? Sis or bro. Sis or bro. Okay? That's not what you need to be doing. Or not even what you need to be doing. It's just like it's inefficient. It's not efficient. And again, okay. This Page of Cups is vulnerable in some type of way, possibly to their own misgivings, possibly to their own shortcomings. This person may not see themselves in a particular light that makes them feel capable or willing to give in to the situation at hand. This person may very well recognize what they're asked to do by the universe, by their guides, by their God, by their intuition, whatever, right? They may know, hey, maybe I should change some things, or maybe I should reconsider some things, or maybe I should approach things a little bit differently going forward. But I don't want to. I can't. I don't know how. I'm unwilling. And these are not necessarily statements that they're sharing with you or that they would even say aloud in the ways that I just expressed, verbatim. I don't think they're coming out and saying, I'm not going to. They might say, well, I'll try. It's the same. It's not the same verbiage, but it's a very similar sentiment. I don't want to. Well, I'll try. It's like defeatist energy. Thank you. Defeatist. And again, it could be for the sake of peacekeeping. It could be for the sake of no confrontation. Page of Cups, like I told you, is not a fighter. Page of Wands, Page of Swords, maybe Page of Pentacles a tiny bit. The most pacifist energy in general in tarot tends to be either Cups or Pentacles. The feminine energies, okay? Not saying that this person is female. They could be. They don't have to be, obviously. But those are just the traditional, maybe we don't need to fight about this. Maybe there's not, much of a need to put in, there's not this strength within this energy. There's a reluctance, there's a resistance, there's an avoidance for various reasons, for various motives, or people have their own beliefs and their reasonings. So, okay. Okay, so remember I said this was like a path and like paths are crossing, right? And you can see where they start, they cross paths. And the World card goes up a level and the Death card goes down a level. Now, that's not deeming anybody a winner or a loser. That's not deeming anybody better than the other. It's just to show ascension. Let's say it that way. Ascension. Okay? Whatever you believe in or don't believe in spiritually, I'm just going to say ascension. Someone goes up a level, someone goes down a level. Doesn't have to be that way. Doesn't mean that's a forever path for either of them. But for now, someone moves up, someone moves down. Not winning, not losing, not anybody's better than the other. It's just the trajectory. Let's say it that way. The trajectory the trajectory in terms of ascension. That's what this feels like. I'm going to leave it at that. Outcome, Leo, for May. Five of Swords. So, here we have some disagreeable energy or disagreement. If not disagreeable energy, a disagreement. With the Five of Swords, we have energy that is it impasse or a draw, or it's like disagreements or butting of heads, or like rigid or energies that's it's like friction, but it doesn't serve a purpose, or there's not a positive outcome. You know, if you're ever going to debate or argue with someone, we would hope to have some type of resolution. There you go. I feel as though this situation doesn't have the ideal resolution for one side or the other, or both sides. I feel that the resolution is a draw, a stalemate, or, you know, a walking away. Because not in this card, but in the traditional artwork, you'll see one guy standing in the foreground of the card and 2 or 3 people walking away. And I said that. This is like a crossing of paths, but then it's also kind of like one side goes their way, one side goes their way, the other way, and that's it. You know, I'm not sensing in this moment any type of true reconciliation. I'm not sensing any sense of like going forward aligned. 2 different paths, 2 different trajectories. And it could be one side or the other, or both, or both, or both. Okay, let's put it out there. Or both are cutting their nose despite their face. Because I did say that before. I don't know exactly what I said, but I did say this Hierophant energy, this Empress energy that is anchored back in the world could have this high horse kind of feeling or perspective or approach, and that could lead to this. It's not all on the Death card, Hangman, Page of Cups person or side of the situation, okay? Both sides could be just as quote-unquote guilty, okay? Because this is energy that sees someone or sees the participants in a situation behaving in a way that doesn't serve their actual intentions or their actual desires. This is like self-sabotage or it's like, okay, I'm just going to use this as an imagery, but I'm not, I hope this is not anybody's situation. It's like being a life raft. After a ship goes down, people get into a life raft, and somebody gets in the life raft and they start like drilling a hole in the bottom of the boat. Like, why are you doing that? I don't know. I'm just doing it. It's like the consequences of your actions end up hurting you too. It's not like drilling the hole in the bottom of the boat that you're on is a smart move, because you will drown too. Like, even if you're in a boat and you hate this person, and I'm not sensing animosity. There might be, but I'm not sensing either side is holding a grudge towards the other or anything. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I can't tell, or at least not that I can't tell. I'm not sensing it overtly. Let's say it that way. Even if you're in a boat with someone out to sea, waiting for rescue, and you hate that person, and you want to see them punished, or you want to see them suffer, or you want to see them, just panicked over drowning a second time, and then you drill this hole in the bottom of the boat. You're in the boat too. Why would you do that? So something like that. These are crossed paths, so you know these people, or you know this person. You share something with them, and they share something with you. But if you both sabotage, or one of you sabotages it, what's the purpose? Major Arcana, overall energy. Major Arcana, the Devil. This is Capricorn. You had Capricorn before with the World card, so some of you are dealing with a Capricorn. That's twice with Taurus, because you've got Hierophant and the Empress, and then twice with Capricorn, you have the World and the Devil card. So some of you are definitely dealing with an earth sign, or there's an earth sign of significance here. Okay, if you're not dealing with them, there's something about earth, the quality of it is very important, let's say. But as an overall energy, I said this before, this could be an issue of control, self-control, or impulse control, or obsession and possession is also what they're giving me. It could be that. It could be you used to be close with someone as a family member, as a friend, and you both are going your own separate ways, but there's the residual energy is that of deep ties together, right? Deep ties together as friends, as family members, right? And this could be, you know, in this reading, Leo, I'm obviously recording it in May 2020. This story is probably playing out right now, but from years ago. So you could be going through something that's been going on since 2017, 2010, whatever. Or some of you will see this story continue on past 2020. That's what that feels like. So they had me mention that. They had me mention that for a reason. This is not a done deal in the way that maybe it feels like it's a done deal in the moment right now. Does that make sense? Now, Devil talks to those aspects of control and restriction and structure, like I mentioned with Capricorn and Saturn when we were talking about the World card at the beginning. Still here too with the Devil, there are lessons to be learned about autonomy and personal control and how to utilize it correctly. Thank you. How to utilize your own autonomy and your own agency in a way that it doesn't sabotage you, or it doesn't leave you in a there's just a big aspect of control here, right? And who pulls the strings and who's in charge. Right? This could be about two people wanting to be in charge, and, you know, they can't share the power. They can't share the responsibilities. They can't share the accolades. Maybe. And why do I say that? Control. Devil is about control. Hierophant is about control. To an extent, the Empress can be about control. Death can be about control. All of these damn things, to certain extents and in certain nuanced ways, can be about control. Who has it, who doesn't have it. Who is acting in their own behest, who believes they're acting in their own best interest, and who believes they're acting in their own best interest, and how those two things are kind of repelling each other. Those two things don't necessarily mix. This is a very interesting reading. I'm going to stop it because I can't continue to read it without going deeper. Okay? Leo, here you go, having the longest reading now. If you like this reading, if there was something here that resonated with you, it made sense to you, please feel free to like the video, leave a comment. If you want to share, let other people know what's going on in your life, feel free to do so. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed before. Yeah. This one is actually, like, bothering me. It's like, ugh. Anyway, Leo, I'll be back soon to do the mid-May messages and then the June messages and all that good stuff. If you want a personal reading, that information, again, is down in the description box. Follow me on IG, EmpathicFire Tarot over there. Might do some pick of cards. Might go live on the channel as a surprise here on YouTube sometime in the future. If you're subscribed and you're up on my community tab, well, I'm not going to announce it, but if you're subscribed, you might be able to catch that in your notifications, okay? Leo, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.